Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people make friends. I'm just trying to make a little money. My job is not just to entertain, but I'm teaching tonight. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC. Tweet me at Jim Cramer. An individual stock can change your life. If there's one overarching theme of how to make money in any market, which today came out, this is the first day, it's that one stock can create tremendous wealth for you, provided that you own it for the long haul, you don't trade in and out of it, and you let your gains compound. What does that mean in the heat of the bull versus the bear that goes on every day here and the minuscule stuff that you have to think about? Well, I mean, today Dow only gained 82 points, S&P climbed 0.41%, NASDAQ advanced 0.3%. There may have been millionaires made today. It means that you can't afford to trade out of your favorites. Just because you know, for instance, September is typically a terrible month for stocks. Hey, this one wasn't at all. Or that there's a government shutdown on the horizon, which really has any impact on the stock market. Or there's some squabble between the Fed and the president. Again, a sideshow. These are sideshows to the performances of companies themselves. And we make too much of the sideshows and not enough of the boots on the ground business realities. Let me give you a real-life example that I heard back from hundreds of people, including a dozen just today, when I had a Barnes & Noble book signing in Midtown Manhattan. In How to Make Money in Any Market, I tell the story of how Nvidia changed so many people's lives. From the day in 2017 when I renamed Everest, my rescue dog, Nvidia, simply as a frustrating way to get the word out about the greatness of this company and the man behind it. Turns out I succeeded beyond my wildest dreams. The stock at the time was at a split-adjusted price of just under $4 back then. Now it's at $186 and change, new high. I do a lot of bottle signings for my wife's Mezcal Fosforo, and people show me their statements. They bring them to the signings, and they show me how much they've made because they're afraid I won't believe in them. Same thing today at my book signing. It's a highly emotional thing, and I have seen a lot of tears of joy from that one stock. A lot of lives changed for the better. That would never have happened if it weren't for the greatness of American business and the amazing talents of Jensen Huang and the Nvidia team. It's for real. Now, I know it sounds like winning a lottery game or maybe a hole-in-one, but we're not golfing here. I mentioned a huge number of hole-in-ones in this book, including my recommendation of FANG, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google in February of 2013, and then FANG when I added Apple later. The performances here have been staggering, but you only made that money if you didn't get shaken out. We are all told to love just index funds, and if you invested $1,000 in S&P index fund when we created FANG here, well, it would have been worth almost $5,000. But if you invested in Google, it'd be worth $10,000. If you invested in Amazon, $16,000. Apple, $18,000. Facebook, $21,000. Netflix, $36,000. Now, we are told it's too hard to find stocks like that, right? I mean, those are just where I picked really abstruse names. But first, we trumpeted those names almost nightly for years. And I would say all of them are of the household variety. I call the book the most radical tract you're ever going to read about your finances because the prevailing orthodoxy is that regular people like you can't successfully pick stocks. How would you know about Apple? How could you know about Facebook? How could you know about Google? You'd be much better off in index funds. The general attitude on Wall Street is that you aren't smart enough to build your own portfolio. How this happened, I don't know. It wasn't like it when I got in the business, and it was much harder then to build a portfolio. Instead, I suggest a bifurcated portfolio where you put half of what you can save into an index fund. See, I'm not forsaking them, but the other half goes into 5 stocks, including one informed speculation, and then, of course, some insurance. You can do it in crypto. You can do it in gold. You need insurance in a portfolio just like you need insurance on a home or a car. I want you to do it as a program, putting a little money away each month. Go light on the market. Skip the triple venti cappuccinos with skim wet and put that money in the market. Specifically, I want you to put it in growth stocks only. The earlier, the better. It is not too late. Why? Because I want to try as hard as I can to encourage you to own these things, not trade them. And it's much easier to stick with growth. You can't grow rich trading in and out of the best stocks. You will buy high and sell low. I promise you that. You know, I hadn't written a book in over 10 years. I just thought that it didn't matter anymore. I got the show, I got the investing club. I mean, what else is there to say? But as time went on, I came to realize things about this moment that I detail on how to make money. First, we're witnessing the greatest wealth transfer in history, $100 trillion going from one generation of baby boomers to millennials and Gen Zers who don't know how to invest. And they tend to just trade or on prediction events or zero-day op, anything other than investing. They have no concept of using compounding to get ahead of the game. They don't know buy and homework, and they don't know not to trade. 2, this new generation, which I believe in, doesn't believe they can be wealthier than their parents, and that is a shame. They don't even bother to invest something because they have so little hope. You want little hope? You want it? Even when I lived in my car in the back seat of my Ford Fairmont for 6 months in L.A., I believed I could have more money than my parents. I ended up pulling that off, too, just by putting a little bit each month into an account of fidelity. And 3, the process of making money is so much easier now. I'm on these chatbots every day. They just get better and better. A company's website has so much on it. It's all your fingertips. It was unavailable when I started. I dedicate the book to my mom and dad because they emphasized to me that I had to save to get rich. They weren't. They knew to save, but not the right way. My father was buried by a tip to buy National Video, a vacuum tube maker, right before solid-state circuitry came out. 0. Meanwhile, one of Pop's suppliers just sat there and he bought Merck all the time. He said, that's a great company. He became a millionaire when millionaires were like billionaires. Mom, she bought a few shares of stocks in companies she liked. What she didn't realize is that that's the starting point, not the end point. You don't just go to a store and say, I'll buy the stock. I show you how a stock price is created, too, what the price-to-earnings multiple means and how the multiple can change. She never did any of that. She didn't make money with her observations and buy strategy, although, in fairness, she was pretty good at betting the ponies. Go figure. Still, it was brutal to listen to her say Pepsi shouldn't be worth twice what Coca-Cola is worth because PepsiCo was at 100 and Coca-Cola was at 50. I never got to explain to her the concept of the price-to-earnings multiple, what it meant. She passed away before that could happen. And honestly, I don't even know if she would really understand it. That's because I didn't know how to explain it back then. Now I do. I always vow to tell people how stocks work. It was too hard then. It's not anymore. It's all in here, and I think I do it in a breezy and let me say edible way. My most lamentable part of the book is when I said that, hey, maybe it's late to buy FANG, which was such a fertile place to buy. It's pretty plowed over, although there's still money to be made there. I give the younger and young at heart the stories of the stocks that I think could be the next FANGs. That's what you want. I tell you why they could be the stocks that could change your life. And for those who want compounded income, I give you some of that, too, although I want you to find these yourself. But mostly I call this book a celebration of individual stocks, of individual companies and their power to transform your life. I know that's not in keeping with the current orthodoxy. The experts say you can't do it. You have to turn it over to them. Let them buy the funds. I look at things differently. I know you wouldn't be watching unless you thought that individual stocks could create miracles. But, of course, also lose. You accept that. You want to cut down the losses. You want to identify those with the best potential. I like that. I'm not going to patronize you and say that you can't possibly figure it out. Instead, I show you how the pros do it because you deserve it. I want to democratize things. Here's the bottom line. We've been blessed with a tremendous market here. I know that, but it won't always be. You have to learn to trust the market and recognize that even if buying on the worst days possible in the last 40 years has still worked out fine, provided you chose growth stocks with good pedigree. There may never be a stock as incredible as Nvidia. But there are amazing stocks out there that can and will change your lives for the better, but only if you let them. Jude in California. Jude.
Booyah, Jim. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
All right, what's happening?
I want to know your thoughts on Northrop Grumman. I've been buying since April. Is this a good time to sell, or should I let it ride?
No. It's a high-quality company, very good company, good balance sheet, smart people. I want to own the stock. Own it. I'll give you RTX, too. I think that works in a similar fashion. Let's go to... Oh, no, that's it. I went on too long about, yes, how to make money in any market, which went on sale today. Thanks for listening. Individual stocks can change your life, but only if you stop trading and you let them. Man, buddy, tonight, with the government shutdown looming, I'm checking in with a private player that has some of the more robust employment data out there. Don't miss my exclusive with Paychecks. Then could private equity be an interesting investment space to find out? I'm going off the charts to find out with Bob Lang, who helped me create FANG. And it's a big year for CEO shakeups and C-suite turnover. I'm speaking with the incoming and outgoing CEOs of an integrated logistics company, ArcBest. So stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.